Hello and welcome back to the tiny house studio. Today we're going to be doing a painting with basically just all greens. Got a little bit of black and white and 6 shades of green, so we're calling this one the Emerald Forest, or perhaps 50 shades of green, whichever you prefer. So I got a canvas here, 8 by 10, got a little bit of white paint around the borders, keep my paint flowing good, and we are just about ready to go. Alrighty, now we're going to start with just a little bit of black. I don't want to get too much black in this painting. All my paints are already lined up in order of dark light, dark light, dark light, which is the way I'm going to roll on this one. My paints are just the basic Folkarts. I mix 8:1, 1 part paint to 8 parts Floetrol. I don't use silicone or dimethicone or any other chemicals. I simply rely on the Floetrol itself and any air bubbles that may happen to be in the paint. If you put some paint in a cup, stir it up, and then pour your Floetrol on it, you'll immediately see cells being produced by the Floetrol. And that's plenty good enough for me. I'm not into those big cells anyway. Trying to get this mixed up for you nice and quick. I always, I watch videos on YouTube of people doing this, and I find it quite boring to watch people mix their paints and then to pour them in their cups, although it is helpful to see the layers that they're using, which is why I'm trying to show you my pour cup, although I don't know how well that's working out for you. We shall see. Got a lot of paint, I know that. Probably way more than I'm going to need, but that's okay. We'll just let it pour right off. Alrighty then. Get this bad boy on the canvas, give it a flip, let that sit a minute. While I get some paint off my hands. And yes, I do own gloves, but I rarely use them. Alrighty. See what we get here. Now you see, look at all those little cells. I ain't too concerned about that. I'm going to save a little bit of what's running off that edge. I do use a torch to help out. There you can see them, probably see them coming right up, those cells. Okay, let's try to turn this into a minor miracle. I was planning on leaving a little bit of white out on the corners. I like to have that little bit of negative space. I think it makes for a much more interesting painting. I know a lot of people add Elmer's glue all to their paint, to their medium. As many videos as I've watched on this subject, I have yet to figure out why they do that. Some claim it binds the paint pigments together. I don't know, I guess it's up to the individual, because I have tried it in different ratios, and to be honest, every painting I have done that has the glue in it has cracked as it dried. So I just kind of gave up on the idea of using the glue. Was getting really annoyed with all my paintings cracking after a few days. You think you got something nice, it looks good. A couple of days later, it's all cracked. Little crazing lines, and sometimes really deep separations in the paint. And believe me, it's not something you want to see. We're going to let that sit for a few minutes and see what it turns out, because the cells may continue to produce. And of course, the paint's running over the edges, so you're getting your cells to stretch out as that paint runs off. It's drawing those cells and stretching them out. So, you know, like for another 10 minutes, this thing can just kind of change a little bit at a time. Here where I poured the white, you get a little bit of fuzzy edges, which is really nice. That's something I always look for. And this is another part that people do while they're filming, which is another thing I find annoying to watch, but I don't know, everybody does it, so I guess there's people out there who like to see us finish up the edges, or maybe it just annoys you to no end to see that the edge is not getting finished. I don't know. I guess, truth be told, whenever I watch somebody paint and I see that they didn't go back and clean the edges, it's kind of annoying. You're wondering, well, did they not see that? Are they going to let it dry like that? We're good to go. Definitely good to go here. And for being nothing but all shades of green and black and white, I mean, nothing, you know, like a yellow or blues or reds, orange, nothing like that. And yet look at all the color, the lacing around the cells. Everything looks good as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure all the fans of The Wizard of Oz will be quite happy with my little emerald forest. So here's my leftover paints. Not much left. As you can see, as I had said, even though it's quite dark lighting, we got black, a light aqua shade of green, and then so on, dark light shades of green, finishing up with that bright green. If I can stay out of the way of the light, I'll try to get you a good look at this thing. So it's been sitting there about 10 minutes now. It's still dripping off the edges, but most of the movement has subsided. See how it looks like we've had yellow in there, and yet there is no yellow cup. So, and it even looks kind of bluish from the aqua. But overall, I think that came out really nice. I don't like green myself, despite the fact that my eyes are a beautiful shade of green, I have to admit. But yeah, I think it came out okay. But you know, sometimes I buy my paints in these little six-pack kits, and there's always a bottle of green, of course, and I never use it. And I was looking through my paintings the other day, those that are finished. I have about 3 dozen, and only one of them had any type of green in it, and that was only because yellow and blue had mixed together to form the green during the pour. So I thought, well, I'll use up some of this green today, and here's some more that I did. These are on a 7-inch wooden disc, and again, no chemicals, no silicone, no dimethicone, no coconut milk or whatever that product is people are using. Alright, well, there you go. Thanks for watching. Zaijian.